Hello students, please subscribe the channel, drop a like, share and comment. This is exercise number 1 and 2 of the Progressive Monthly Magazine, July 2022 on the speed of 100 words per minute. Start. Sir, a new feature is being introduced in the Companies Act which was never there before, neither in the Companies Act 1913 nor the Companies Act 1956 or the various amendments that have been made since 1956. Only an abridged form of the profit and loss account and the annual report will be sent to the shareholders, and on payment of fee he will be entitled to get the full report as he is getting now. If the Honorable Minister looks into the representations from various shareholders associations over the years, you will find that even the existing requirement of information to be provided to the shareholders is not enough. In fact, shareholders associations have already represented that the information given to them should be much more specific. In companies which have got various divisions, it should be division wise. There are a lot of other features which they have pointed out from time to time. Here we find a bill which has been ostensibly brought to protect these very small shareholders and depositors, which takes away even the existing rights being given to them. It is a very serious matter. In corporate functioning, as we have seen over the last few years, I may venture to say that even the Suture Committee recommendations have become a little out of date, because in the last 5 years, especially after this government has come to power, there has been a sea change in the operation of the corporate sector. This particular act, which is the main act governing the administration of the companies in the corporate sector, cannot be effective in spite of over 600 sections and a vast army of company law administration officials all over the country. The small depositors and the shareholders will always be left at the mercy of a certain government bureaucrat or a certain department. For instance, in spite of all these powers which the Company Law Board enjoys, this particular amending bill says that certain powers will be shifted from the High Court to the Company Law Board. It makes no difference. The ultimate authority is the government. The Company Law Board will be executing its decisions through the government. Now, I want to know, if the company law is effective, then how we have got massive cases of dumping? The investors are totally taken for a ride. It is totally contradictory to the spirit of the Suture Committee, which had a very socialist approach. It is contrary, if I may submit with your permission, to the thinking of their own Prime Minister. I do not understand who is the author of this bill. I do not understand how this kind of omnibus bill without direction has been brought. This is one of the most poorly drafted pieces of legislation that I have come across. I submit that, apart from these things, if the Honorable Minister may allow me to submit, I have seen in the administration of companies for smaller things, they are more particular. If a company is not filing some paper on time, promptly they will send a notice. But there are some other companies which I know of which are not repaying their depositors. Depositors are knocking at their doors and nobody is listening to them. This kind of anomaly must be corrected, since this is very important act in the sense that the entire corporate sector is administered by this act. If the government has any power to discipline companies, it is through this act. And if this act is treated in such a callous manner, I am at my wits' end to understand how larger companies will ever come within the framework of any discipline at all. They will not. Whenever any controversy starts, we start the controversy of the public sector and the private sector. This is a needless controversy. In this country, we need the private sector and we need the public sector. In this country, we need large companies and we need small companies. Everybody must play his role as per the scheme of the Constitution, as per the scheme of various resolutions. We in the opposition may or may not agree with the government's policies. But just now the government policies must adhere at least to what their own avowed objectives are. This bill does not even conform to their own pattern. It is strange to me. I do not understand how these provisions have found their way into this bill, especially in relation to the entire corporate deposits and loans, just because a few High Court judgments have clearly stated that a loan is different from a deposit. The reason you are giving is that this bill also includes the provision to plug loopholes and remove some lacunae. This is not a or a lacuna. Loans and deposits are two different things. But by an act of parliament, we are trying to change the context and the meaning of the entire corporate operations and functions.